Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Athletes Roundtable. This podcast is brought to you by Dilcher Productions, the best place to find Iona highlight reels, podcasts, and much more. Today, we are joined by
Damien Dilcher.
All right, Damien, what grade are you in?
I'm a fifth year.
Fifth year. Okay, so like a repeat here.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Brick Township, New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, nice. And what's your major?
I'm a psych major, and I'm going to grad school for criminal justice.
Very nice. Very nice. What events do you run?
I really run everything from the half mile up to 10K cross country. I'd say if I had to pick an event that I'm best at, it'd probably be the mile.
How would you describe the differences with each event in track?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. So the half mile and the 800 and the mile are considered like mid-distance runners. It's mostly guys that are a bit quicker on their feet. As you get up in distance, like the 5K, 8K cross, 10K, it's more of guys who would like to say can just hurt a little bit longer. It's really rare that people can be pretty good at all of them. But I'd just say the difference is are you naturally fast or no?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. All right. What's your best event, would you say?
I'd say the mile or the 1500.
Mile 1500. Okay.
How did you get into your sport?
It's actually kind of a funny story. So I played a lot of football growing up. Come from a big football family and baseball. And I ran track in like middle school because my mom made me. And then when I got to freshman year of high school, I was playing both football and I was running cross country. And I got hurt playing football, and my mom chose for me what I was going to do. So from there on out, it was just pure running.
What position do you play in football?
I was a quarterback, wide receiver, and safety.
Nice. Nice.
So you had like a bunch of running already
just
in the system.
Well, because I was on a team that didn't really have many players. It was kind of like a newly formed team, so all the plays were literally just snap the ball, and I pick a direction, and I just run in that direction for as long as I can.
Fair enough. What's your favorite part of track or cross country?
I'd say the team aspect. I mean, it's a big difference from high school. You come to a level where everyone, whether they're on your team or you're racing them, is on the same level. You're training at a really high level with a bunch of guys that you get really close with, and there's nothing better than like going to a race and doing well and knowing that like you and your team did that together. It's a pretty good feeling to be successful as a team and not just as an individual.
Mm-hmm. What is your daily training?
Yeah, so it's different every day. So like Sundays are our long run days. Some of our guys go anywhere from 13 to 17 miles. I'm like a 15-mile guy. Monday is kind of like you just go for an hour to 70 minutes. Tuesdays are workout days. Workouts really depend where you are in the season, if you're early season, late season. Wednesday is what we consider a medium long run. We do a moderate run, which means like just a little bit faster, but not nearly as far as long runs. So like most guys will go 9 or 10 miles. Thursdays, NCAA day off. So we just train on our own, just as far as you feel like going. Friday, workout day, and Saturday, just an easy day, and repeat every week.
So how fast do you think you can run like a mile in like minutes?
Well, so the fastest I've ever run was technically 4:05.
Dang.
But the 15 is it's what's usually run in college. It's 100 meters shorter, and there's a conversion. So my conversion converts to 4:01.
Okay.
But the goal is to just go under 4 and run like 3:57, 3:56, and just try to keep getting faster.
You think you can get it by the end of the year?
Yeah, I had last year that was the goal, but I had a bit of an injury and I was out for a while. So like everything was kind of pushed back a year. But I'm feeling good, pretty confident. I think this year, I think I can take a stab at the school record and hopefully make my way to NCAAs.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy training?
Yeah, I enjoy aspects of training.
Okay.
Depends the workout. Like some workouts, you're in the hurt locker for literally the whole thing, and you're just questioning every single rep. You're like, why do I do this to myself? But then you get those nice runs where the weather's really nice, the trails are really nice, and you're kind of like, like this is cool. You're just talking to your friend along the whole run.
Yeah.
It really depends the day.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite and like least favorite training day? Like, if do you like doing short sprints or like the long distance?
We don't typically do like more short stuff. It depends the season. Like track, we get a little bit quicker with less volume, which means like less distance per rep.
Mm-hmm.
But during cross country season, I'd say my least favorite is hills, because we'll do like 14 by hill repeats, and sometimes the hills can vary from 300 meters to 600 meters. My favorite one is tempo runs, which is just it's a moderate, not so much race pace run, but it's a
yeah.
faster run for a period of time. It's just a lot easier to get through than hill reps at like full speed.
Very fair.
What is the differences between playing your sport in high school to playing now in college?
Yeah, there's a lot of differences. I'd say the first biggest difference is training. When I was in high school, I was training. I was only running 20, 25 miles a week. Workouts were like super light, easy, nothing really you had to do at home to be better. And then you come to college and your miles get up to like 70, 80. Some guys go 100 miles a week. There's lift 2 days a week. You got band drills, hurdle drills. Like, just the list goes on for things you do in college that you don't do in high school. And I'd say the second thing is just the level of competitiveness. Like, coming out of New Jersey, I was one of the top guys in the country, and I was like, I had a fat head coming into college. I thought, like, I'm still going to be that guy. And you get here, and you got guys from all over the world, really, that are just all trying to do the same thing I'm doing and just do it better and train at a higher level. So I'd say those are probably the two biggest differences, is training and competitiveness.
How do you take the competition level to better yourself?
That's a good question. Well, just, I guess, like, the competition level makes you train harder. Like, you can't go, like, a good way to put it is you can't go race guys who run under 4 minutes a mile if you're training like a 4:20 miler. So it's really just knowing what level you're at and trusting the coach's training. When I ran my fastest PB, like, it came out of kind of nowhere. I wasn't really training for it, but now you train specifically for it, and you get put in races where the competition can, like, level you up a little bit, because they say times come with racing, if that answers your question.
Now, would you say your teammates are the best, like, pushers, or would you say the coaches are, like, of you to get, like, your personal best in a race or in training?
So I would say in training and racing, definitely my teammates. Outside of that, definitely my coaches, because, like, your teammates are kind of there through the whole process. Like, the coaches don't run the reps or the races with you. They kind of are just there to guide you. But in terms of, like, making sure you're getting outside stuff done, like core recovery, staying on top of sleep and all that stuff, like, that's almost purely the coaches, because you're kind of on your own when you're outside of the locker room. So it definitely goes both ways, but I'd say I guess the majority of it would definitely be my teammates.
Now, you're a fifth year, you said. Would you put yourself in the top 1%, or how would you rank yourself as opposed to, like, the other people in the track and cross country program?
On our team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of our top guys now. Before I got hurt, we went to NCAAs. I was our fourth man. We lost 2 of those guys, unfortunately. They graduated. So we're returning a lot of good guys. Yeah, I'm one of our top guys right now. Hopefully it stays that way. But we have a really good squad. My class is kind of where it's coming from right now. We got a bunch of young guys coming in, and then we got Jamie D. He's our veteran. He's been here a while. And we got a really good group of freshmen. So just gonna play the cards, see what happens.
Being one of, like, the top guys on your team, how do you try and, like, coach the new freshmen who are, like, looking up to you?
That's a good question. It's tough because we get people from all over the place. Like, we have shirts that say assembled in the USA. I would say I'm one of few Americans on the team. We're very international, and internationals, they take the sport, I'd say, way more serious than most Americans do, especially at a younger age. So when they come here, they have a mindset of what is supposed to be done and what they're doing, and sometimes it's hard to break that mindset. So it's more of just less by words and more by example. Like, if they see you doing strides in core and what the coaches say, 9 times out of 10 they'll follow. You get those stragglers that kind of are hard-headed about it, but it's more of just trying to show them why you're successful and how it can help them be successful. And at a younger age, if you can get them on it, it's much better for them.
So since the team is, like, so international, do you find it difficult to, like, communicate with them? Or if you are living with them, I don't know if you are, but if you do, then, like, is it difficult to live with them because, like, the language barriers or anything?
No, actually not at all. I live in an off-campus house with 11 of the guys. It's like our big team house. A lot of Canadians. We brought in a Frenchman. His name is Mael. We have Irish guys from the UK. It's really nice. Like, it definitely opens your perspective. I learned a lot coming here. I've lived with internationals since I came here, from freshman year all the way to now, and we don't really get many that can't speak English. They just have, like, pretty heavy accents from where they come from, but It's been nice, and I've learned a lot. Like I like a lot of different foods, a lot of different music, things like that. But it's been really cool.
Do they show you like type of foods that they make and like their culture pretty much?
Yeah, so mostly Mael, being French, he's come in and he's made us crepes, and he shows us other meals from France. Like his idea of a pizza is way different than mine. Like if I'm thinking pizza, I'm thinking like big, greasy, full of meat and cheese. His is like honey, lettuce, goat cheese, and it's like it's very different.
Is it good?
I've never tried it yet, but we've had the conversation.
Okay.
But as far as like the Canadians go, and most of the Irish fellas, like even the UK guys, things are pretty much the same. There are differences here and there, but nothing like crazy noticeable. More so just Mayo. He's the difference.
Fair enough.
Now, going back to when you said like you guys train every single day and work out, do you think you have too much pressure as like a college athlete?
Yeah, I think any college sport's going to come with a lot of pressure. Our team is one of the better teams in the country, so a lot comes with that. We've won our conference 31 years straight. Like I told you earlier before the podcast, we had just lost the second longest active NCAA appearance streak. So there's a lot of pressure on us to keep that going, because one of the streaks has been alive longer than I've been alive by almost 10 years. And every day when you go out, there's a lot of pressure to find that balance between pushing yourself but not pushing yourself hard enough to where you'd get hurt. And like even going into racing, there is a lot of pressure to keep yourself at your best possible state in terms of being healthy, because I mean, one person goes down, that could be the difference between winning and losing, or placing enough to go somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, for like the day of the meet, would you say you're excited, you're nervous? Like what's the feeling going on?
Definitely both. I'd say like a meet like tomorrow, it's our first home meet. It's the Patio Doyle race. We call it the Meet of Champions. It's kind of just us. We're not gonna put our spikes on. We're just gonna go and roll into it and kind of just try to dominate it. But then you advance a couple weeks. We got what's called Wisconsin. It's a huge race. A lot of the best teams in the country go. It's where teams make statements, and like that before that race, I'll definitely like have that gut feeling, a little bit of nervous, overthinking it a bit. Yeah, it really just depends on the race and kind of what's at stake, what's going on the line.
Do you have any like pre-meet rituals or anything? Like music, anything like that?
So I've eaten the same meal before every race since my junior year of high school.
What meal?
Chicken parm and broccoli.
Good choice.
Nice.
I don't know why. I had one race where I switched it up, didn't race too well, and I was like, yeah, I'm going back. In terms of music, no, not really. Just kind of shuffle something, get me a little fired up. Coffee an hour and a half before. One thing I don't do that most of the guys do is like they stride before the race. I don't stride before the race. I just feel like it makes me tired. I get yelled at for it, but it's just kind of like what flows with me. I'd say like outside of the dinner thing, not too much, but.
Okay.
How are you guys preparing to get back to where you were like the other year?
Is there like a difference in training or anything like that?
No, so our conference, like, it's good, but it's not as good as like the Pac-12 or Big Ten or Big E. You know, like we don't have those crazy star-studded teams like most conferences. So what we do is we don't really change anything in training. We stay high mileage. We don't really come down in what we call taper to get our body in like peak performance. We just kind of trust that we have enough talented guys to go to the front and just kind of beat it out. I mean, we have some good competition. There's a guy from Siena who's really good. I think this will be his last year in the MAC. And the best team outside of Iona left last year to go to the CAA. It was Monmouth University. So for us, it's kind of like just do what we do every year. Just pack up in the front and just try to run away from everyone.
So is there like a national meet that you all go to that like you race against other schools like in the Pac-12 and Big Ten and everything?
Yeah, so we have to go through a region for that. That was actually the streak that we lost, was going to NCAAs. NCAAs, it's the best of the best, obviously. I'm pretty sure 20 to 30 schools go. The last time we went, we were 10th. It was over the COVID year. So we just have to get through the Northeast region first, place top 2 there, and then hopefully make our way back to NCAAs.
Now, for the rest of your story, why did you choose Iona?
I just like this was actually the only school I took a visit to. I turned down a lot of visits.
Huh.
I just liked how small it was. I wasn't really a big fan of having the shuttle bus across campus. Like I'm already like pretty late to things as is, and I couldn't imagine having to like shuttle bus 45 minutes. And honestly, the team culture. Like when I came here, this was the first visit I took, and the team was just so close. And when we went to this city, it was just like there was no difference in where anyone was from. You wouldn't have been able to tell who was from America or Canada or like anywhere. Like everyone was just one, and it was an amazing feeling to be a part of that. And I was like, when I left, I just remember I was getting back on the train to Jersey, and I called my mom. I was like, this is it. Like this is home, and I love this place. And it was just a beautiful campus, and the coaches were great. Like Joe Pienta, who's our head coach now, he was like a big part of my recruiting process. He was the assistant coach at the time, and he just made a big effort to come. Like he came to my race in California for a nationals meet. He would write me letters all the time, like saying
Wow.
good job. Or so it was just, there was a lot of commitment and a lot of investment into me, and like just a lot more than other college coaches with the typical text message. So it was.
Did they come to you, or did you go to them in the beginning?
Iona came to me. It was a weird process though, because a lot of the guys that were part of my recruiting process ended up leaving, and that's when Joe Pienta took over. But it didn't really change much. Like when I came out here, you know, they showed me around the area. I thought New Rochelle High School was our school because it's just a lot bigger. But
Yeah.
it was really nice, and the dorms were a big thing because like I only stayed in the dorms 2 years, but having like the North Ave dorms were really nice because it was like a
True.
little suite. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so it was cool. And then, like I said, one of the biggest factors was like internationals. Like it was cool to be surrounded by guys that weren't from the same place as me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're like a fifth year, would you say that Iona has lived up to the expectations and the hype that you first gave it when you came here?
Absolutely lived beyond it. Like this place has been phenomenal. I mean, I've had my ups and downs, but I mean, when you leave home, who's not to have ups and downs? But I'd say like I'm very happy with my choice to call this place home. I've had no real second guesses about being here and loving it here. If I could stay for another 10 years, I would.
Huh.
Yeah, I just love this place.
So what are some of like your hobbies like outside of track and field?
So I like to play, like I'm a very sportsy guy. I love sports, but it's hard to play sports when you're in season all the time. Like I love basketball. An alumni here, Ehab El Sandali, played with me a lot, but it's always a big risk factor. You turn an ankle, coach gets mad at you. So a lot of my hobbies have been reduced due to like recovery. So like I just hang out with my girlfriend a lot, or I play like video games, or I watch TV, do some homework, or just hang out with the guys in the house. It's a little bit of a boring lifestyle. It's like it might sound a little bit boring lifestyle, but got to do what's best for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any favorite TV shows?
Actually, I do. I've been on a kick I watched all of The Sopranos in my off season. Great show. And then I've actually just been getting into a lot of like childhood Cartoon Network shows like Courage the Cowardly Dog. They all got put on HBO Max, and I was just kind of like, oh, why not? Like,
Very fair.
Yeah. Just
Those
like
are
the
some good
shows from a
ones.
kid, yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was pretty scary as a kid.
It was.
I look back at it, like the stuff in that show is pretty scary.
I was into it though. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm about my third season. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
If you couldn't play your sport, is there another sport that you're good at?
I'd definitely say football. I loved football. Growing up, it was just kind of hammered in my mind that like I was going to be a football player from my uncles, and like they would change their favorite team to whatever team I got drafted to. And I played as a kid, and then I took a bit of a break after elementary school, and then I got back into it, and I was pretty good at it, and I loved game day feeling. Like there was nothing more superior than going into a football game when I had a steam. So I'd say if like running didn't take off, I'd probably try to make it work with football somehow.
Would you say if you didn't get injured, would you think you would still be in football?
Actually, yeah, because that decision came purely from my mom. Because I fractured my growth plate, and I was winning races in cross country and playing football, so I was doing well in both. But like after we left the doctor and I had the boot on, and my mom was kind of like, all right, like there's a choice that has to be made here, and she's like, I know which one you're gonna make, so I'm gonna make it for you type thing. And she was like, you're gonna stick with running for now and see where it goes until at least you get healthy, and then you can reevaluate. But by the time I was old enough to reevaluate, I was already doing so well, and it was like, why would I change what's working? And I had fell in love with the sport.
Yeah. Do you wish you had more time to join like other clubs and stuff on campus?
No, not really. Like I invest so much time into the sport, and with the guys. Like, for me, it's more than just like in the locker room. Like living with the guys, seeing the guys in an outside of team setting, and like it's like a commitment 24/7 kind of thing. Like we don't see each other all the time. We'll spend a lot of times in our rooms, but there are times when like we'll have movie nights and stuff. And I think I'd rather just invest more time into like the younger guys than like into a club, like those freshmen coming in, because like I know our freshman class this year, there's only 2 Americans, so it's like I remember how I felt coming an hour and a half away. I can't imagine how they felt flying, almost across the world to come join a cross country team in the middle of New York,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who or what are your inspirations in life and track and field?
I'd say my biggest inspiration in my life is my mom. She has 5 kids, sorry. My 4 siblings are with a different father, but both fathers are not around, and she makes it work. And my like biggest goal in life is to make enough money where she doesn't have to work anymore and give back to her. So like ever since, I don't know, since high school, I've just been grinding away, try to get a contract after college. And then I'd say in sports, it switches a lot. I'm very like, very in the moment guy. I'd say like when I was younger, it was Usain Bolt. I was pretty immature to the sport. I didn't really know too much, and Usain Bolt was just like the guy, just won everything. He was a little showboaty. He fit my style of what it was, even though it wasn't my event. And then as I got older, I started to fall in love with like distance runners, and like now it's Jakob Ingebrigtsen. He's like he's a Norwegian who just wins literally everything. But like even a 2 guys that left, I'd say are my biggest inspiration. Jack O'Leary, he's an Irish guy who left, and then Ehab Elsandale, he's Canadian. Just 2 guys that really like changed my life in running. They showed me the ropes, different things, and definitely took my running to a new level, and have been there for me through my hardest times. Like Jack O'Leary and I were injured at the same time, and I definitely would not have responded well if I didn't have him. And then Ehab, I lived with Ehab for a year, too, and just one of my best friends. And it sucks to see him leave, but those are two of my biggest inspirations in sports now.
Do you wish to pursue track and field after college?
Yeah, that's been the goal for a while. Just try to get fast enough to go pro somewhere, whoever will take me. It's always been a dream of mine to just be able to do what I love doing and make money for it. So I got this year and next year, so hopefully I work something out.
Is the Olympics a goal?
Yeah, the Olympics are the goal. It's a really, 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 really high level to have to be at. Definitely a lot faster than what I've run. So I got to get on it these next 2 years if I want to even make a case for it. But yeah, I feel like every runner's goal is to be an Olympian. It's like the highest honor you can have.
If you got injured or say you couldn't pursue your sport, what would you want to do in place of it, like as a career for the rest of your life?
So I'm really intrigued by the criminal justice world. I'm not exactly sure what I would want to do inside of it, but I know that's kind of what I want to do. For a while, I wanted to be the guy that interrogated criminals and just like yell at them in the room, like, where were you, kind of thing. And then I wanted to be like a forensics guy, and then I wanted to be like a parole officer, and then like, so it switches. Just something inside the criminal justice system.
Fair enough. So I wanted to thank you, Damien, for joining our show this week, and thank you to all our listeners who are listening out there. We'll be back next week with a brand new show, so please stay tuned. This has been the Athletes Roundtable. This is Ryan.
Jordan.
Signing off.